Hi, this is a video on how to use this application. This is the sign in screen. So you'll be having your email ID and password. So that both field has to be entered. And after clicking on I'm not this, this is the captcha code has to be enabled, and only then the sign in screen will be enabled. So I will just enter and show you how it works. After filling all these fields, only the sign in button is enabled. So now when I click on sign in, it'll redirect to the next page. So I have enabled 2FA for this account. So that is why I've been asked to enter the 6-digit code. So this 6-digit code will be received in the registered mail ID. That is this ID which you have entered. In that ID, the code will be entered. You have to enter that code. So resend code will again send the code. If in case you have not received the code, you can click on resend code, which will send a new code to your mail ID. Confirm will redirect to the next screen, and cancel will close this pop-up. And again, when you click on sign in, you will have to verify your 2FA. That is, you have to enter 6-digit code only. Then you will be redirected to the next screen. So now I'll enter the 6-digit code which I would have received in this mail ID. So as you can see, I've received the code. So this is the code that has to be entered. If I click on confirm, it will redirect to the dashboard screen. So login is successful. So this is the dashboard screen. Here you will be able to see your claimable balance, total balance, and the welcome statement to this platform, and token name and the symbol. So next is the whitelisting module. So in order to use withdrawal option, we'll have to first add the whitelist. But before that, if you click on withdrawal, it is compulsory to add your phone number. So I'll first explain this profile screen. So here it is mandatory to add your mobile number. You need not have to enter the country code. You just have to enter the mobile number, and you can select the flag of your country, and you just have to enter your mobile number. It can be any digits which has to be valid, because based on this number only, at the time of withdrawal you will be receiving an OTP. So this screen I'll just fill it up, and all these fields are mandatory. If you miss on any field, you will have a validation saying that all fields are mandatory. So you will have to enter all these fields. So now I'll choose my country and I'll enter. So as soon as you enter your country, you will have in the placeholder, you will be able to see the digits that has been entered. So you will have to enter your digits, and you do not have to enter the mobile number with the country code. I repeat again, do not enter it with the country code. So now I'll enter my phone number. So now, as you can see, it is already automatically taken my country code and the mobile number. So now without updating, if without updating these two fields, if I click on update profile, there is a validation, all fields are mandatory. So you will have to enter all these fields. So now the profile has been updated. So now when you click on withdrawal, you will not be redirected to profile page because your number is already valid. If in case your number is invalid, you will have a toast message saying that the number is invalid, when you will have to enter your valid phone number. So next I was going for the whitelist. So to in order to withdraw, you will have to first add the whitelisting. You'll have to add your MetaMask wallet address. So with after adding your wallet address, only after 1 hour of adding your wallet address, you will be able to withdraw your tokens. So now there is no whitelisted added, so no address is being added. So now I'll show you how to add an address. So I'll click on add address. So please make a note that one address, you cannot duplicate your, the addresses will not be accepted. Once used addresses cannot be used again. So now address, I will just it should be only be web20 address. So I'll enter this address and click on add. Once I click on add, this address will be added here with the timestamp and the delete button. If you do not wish to have this wallet address, you can always click on delete button to delete this option. So now, if example, if you see again, if you try to add the same wallet address, so it will give you a message that address already whitelist, which means this address is already being taken and you cannot add the same address. So duplication is not allowed. So you can add your n number of wallet address. There is no restriction on adding the addresses, because at the number of address that you will be adding will be displayed in the withdrawal screen under this two wallet address. In the this drop down, those address will be listed one after the other. So this was all about how the whitelisting works. So next I'll go to withdrawal. So here you should have your claimable balance. Only if there is any balance, you will be able to move further for the withdrawal. So now they have given in the placeholder, you can see the minimum withdrawal is 20. So it should start from 20. You cannot enter a value less than 20, which will say that it does not reach the maximum limit. So from 22, the token maximum limit is 1000. You have to, in a 24 hours, you can withdraw 1000 tokens. More than 1000 tokens will not be allowed. So that is what this 24-hour withdrawal statement means. So minimum, you can start from 20 and you can do n number of transactions till it reaches 1000. Once it's 1000, you will not be able to withdraw further tokens. So now I'll enter minimum value. So once this withdrawal is completed, the token from this amount will be deducted, but your NUGEN balance will remain the same. So I will choose this address from the drop down. So once this both field are entered, only then the verify OTP button will be enabled. Now when I click on verify OTP, so yes, this is inactive. So for testing purpose, we'll have to wait for 5 minutes to check for the withdrawal. Because as I told you in the whitelisting, they've told that 1 hour it is. So now for testing, we've just kept for 5 minutes. So after this address is active, only then I'll be able to withdraw. So now in the real time, it will be for 1 hour. So similarly, the toast message will be displayed that you can withdraw after 1 hour. Next is the transaction history. Under transaction history, all the if your transaction after verifying your withdrawal is initiated, it is successful. Those history will be displayed here, and if it's in queue, the transaction the transaction hash will not be displayed. Only after the transaction is getting completed, the transaction hash will be displayed. So here it's a 2FA authentication. If you can see, my 2FA is already enabled, so I received a code. So if it's enabled here, you will have a disable option. If you click on disable 2FA, you will not receive your platform will not be secure. This is the double security. It will not be secure, and you will directly redirect. If you enter your email ID and password, you will be directly redirected to dashboard screen. You will not be redirected to the verify screen, and none of the code will be entered. This is to keep your platform secure. So I have enabled my 2FA. This is change password screen. You can enter your old password and then type your new password, and then you will be able to log in with that new password. So I'll do that for you. So I'll type my old password here. So now I'll enter. So my password condition, which should follow all these conditions that is mentioned. That is, it should be minimum of 8 and maximum it can be 16 characters. It has to there should be no space, and it should contain at least one uppercase, one small, one digits, and one special character. So these are the criteria that has to be followed at the time of setting a new password. So only when all these validation are accepted, this update button will be enabled, and when you click on update, it will. So okay, the same password is not enough. Okay. So as you can see, password is updated successfully, and I am redirected to the new screen, which means my password is changed, and now I'll be able to log in with the new password. Again, the code is received. So as you can see, I was able to log in with the new password. I will try to withdraw. So as you can see, after 5 minutes, I'm able to withdraw now. So here I had asked you to enter the valid mobile number is because at the time of withdrawal, you will be asked to enter the code that you'll receive in your mobile number and which you will receive in your registered mail ID. The ID is displayed here and there'll be a timer. The timer will be active only when you click on send code button. So both the send code button has to be clicked, only then you will receive the code. As you can see now, I will not be receiving any code. But now if I after I click on send code, I'll receive a code in the mobile number as well as email ID. So now I'll click on send code. So as you can see, I have clicked on send code. So now you can see I would have received for the withdrawal. I've received an OTP. So now I'll just paste on this. So within this time limit, you will have to enter your OTP. If the time is expired, so you will have a resend code button, which again you have to click, and again the timer will run, and you will get a new OTP. So this verify button is not active because I've still not entered the uh, uh, verification code. I cannot enter any random verification code. It has to be valid one. If it is invalid, it will throw as invalid OTP. I'll just show you. It should be a 6-digit code, and if I click on verify, it will say invalid OTP. So it is very important to enter the valid OTP. So now I'll enter the valid OTP. So once I've entered, the verify button is active. So when I click on verify, so OTP is verified, and after which the confirm button will be enabled. So when I click on confirm, the transaction will get verified. There will be one more confirmation screen that it's a web20 address, it's correct. And if after clicking on this confirm screen, the transaction will be initiated, and that transaction will be displayed under transaction history under the amount that is entered, type of withdrawal, and true. Now it is in queue. So as I told you, if the transaction is in queue, you will not to see the copy transaction hash symbol. But once the transaction is completed in the platform, you will get a copy text, so where you can click and you can see on the PSC test scan for your transaction status. And as I told you, after withdrawing, see the NUGEN claimable balance, the amount is being deducted, but total NUGEN balance will remain the same. So the transaction is now completed, and as I told you, we'll receive the transaction hash. Now, when I click on this, the address will be copied. It will have a toe saying the transaction hash is copied. So now I'll just click on BSC testnet to check for this transaction. As you can see, 20, the status is success, 20 NUGEN from and to address is displayed. So then you can check in your wallet if you have received for this token. So this is how the entire platform works. Here the bell icon is nothing but it's a notification which will be from, if there is any notification for this platform, this you can click on this to check for the notification. This last login is nothing but it will show you when you had logged in at last. So this is how the entire platform works. And now I'll show you how the forget password will also work. For that, I'll have to log in out of the screen, and then I'll show you how to, if you have forgotten your password, how you can recover that password. So this platform, you have to make sure that your phone number is valid, your email address and password, you have to enter it correctly to use this platform. So now I'll log out the screen using this user icon. If I click, I'll have this my profile and logout option. I'll click on this logout option. So I've signed out. So here you can see if you have forgotten the password, you can use this option, forgot password. So now I click the forgot password. So here also only when this two, your email ID and your reCAPTCHA is selected, only then this continue button will be enabled. Once you enter your email ID, if this ID is there in your platform, it will give you an OTP to your to this ID. If it's not there, it will clearly say user does not exist. When it says user does not exist in the DB, which means that your ID is not registered. You have to enter the ID, the only ID that is registered in this platform. So now I'll click on continue. So it says enter below the code which is sent to your registered email. So the code that I was talking about, this code, so that email ID that you've entered, the code will also be received in the same ID. So now if you check, I would have received the code. So it says NUGEN forget password. So this code I will have to enter, and then you have to set your new password. Password also has the same condition that we used for this change password module. The same condition has to be used for this as well. So all that, if any one condition is missed, you will not be able to reset your password. It will show an error that you have to satisfy all these conditions. Now when I click on submit, it will have a success toast message, and then I'll be able to log in with the new password. So I've entered this new password and I'll be able to log in. It sends the code, which means my password has been reset, and after entering the code, I'll be redirected to the dashboard screen. So this is how the entire platform works. Thank you so much.